Hey everyone, it's Chris Burns again from the Heart Center. I just got done posting a video called "I'm Starting with the Man in the Mirror," and in that video, I talk about how and why it's important to stay close to ourselves and to value our energy. And I kind of wanted to go deeper into that. I didn't feel like I did it, justice. I didn't feel like I went deep enough there. But sorry. The point I want to get across is why is it important to stay close to ourselves? Why is it important to value who we are? And this is why. Because if we're in a situation where someone doesn't like our opinion of us, we're in a situation where people are constantly telling us who we are, what we're not good at, and why we are failing in their eyes. They can easily pull us away from ourselves. They can easily pull us away from what we're here to represent and what we're here to get accomplished, and ultimately pull us away from our own happiness. If we allow another individual, if we give them the power to say, this is who you are, this is why you're this way, you are a bad person, you are a bad whatever it is, then if we're not aware of who we are, we start to believe those belief systems, and we start to associate ourselves with these opinions of other people, and we start to think that yes, they're right, I am a failure, or I am a screw up, or I am whatever they're saying that you are in that point in time. You start to allow that to become your identity, and that's very, very dangerous, because the second you give your power away is the second you start to die. And I don't mean die physically, but I mean die inside, because you no longer have self-value. You no longer have self-worth. As someone who has self-worth can look the person in the eye that is telling them they are these nasty, horrible things, and they can smile and say, "Thank you for your opinion of me. I do not accept it," and walk away. As hard as that may seem, I'm telling you that it's possible. The way to get there is to value yourself, is to know who you are, is to take a step outside of the emotions, take a step outside of what you're being told you are or are not, and look at it from the point of the observer. What's true? Are you doing what you're supposed to do? Are you loving the way you're supposed to love? Are you working to better your life and better those people around you? If this is true, then what they say doesn't matter. And if this is not true, then have enough self-love to look at it and say, yes, what can I do to be a better person for myself, not for them? But what areas of my life can I tweak and maneuver to to reach a higher value in my own self-worth? Because that may also be a very real and very honest thing that you may have to face, is that maybe this person, what they're saying, although all may not be true, there may be a piece of information in there that you can take a look at and you can improve on. And for that, you can tell them thank you, or just simply do it and not speak to them. But it is so vital to stay close to yourself, because this is what happens. For instance, someone texts you and they say, you're a horrible person, and you don't do this, and you weren't there at this time, and the way you treat me is blah, 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 and the way you treat people, and you have everyone else fooled but yourself, and everyone else but me. And then they're saying all these horrible things, and you're reading the text message, and then you put the phone down, and your heart's beating really fast, and your hands are sweating, and something comes over you, and you're like, wow, yeah, you know what? I am a screw up. I am a horrible person, and they are right. What they said is 100% true, and I'm not doing anything to better my life, and I'm not doing anything to help anyone else around me. And you take yourself to this negative mindset right away. without even giving a second thought to yourself or to what was told to you to see how it lines up. You automatically identify with what this other person is saying. What I do and what I advise you to do is to read the message, hear the voicemail, read the Facebook comment, whatever it is that they say, be strong enough to read it. And if you don't feel like you can without getting too upset, then honor that too. But then after you read it or listen to it, take a few deep breaths and sit back and say, okay, is this me? Does this accurately describe who I am and what I represent? And be honest with yourself. Look at your life. Ask yourself, what are you doing that you can honestly say, no, what this person is saying is invalid, it's not true, and I know it's coming from a place of fear and a place of just worry and just, negative emotions, a place of negativity. And once you ask yourself those questions, is what they're saying true? Does it align with who I am? And does it align with what I'm doing on an everyday basis? You can take a step back and you can say, okay, I don't need to accept this opinion of how this person views me. This is called staying close to yourself, knowing yourself, being in tune with who you are and what you represent. If every single day you're waking up with positive intentions, with positive affirmations, with being realistic about what it is you can accomplish, what you can accomplish, and going out into the world with love, then all the negative stuff that people have to say isn't valid. Oftentimes, people will project their insecurities, their fears, and their anxieties onto you because you're doing something or not doing something that makes them feel better. And so sometimes we find ourselves in situations where we feel like we have to accommodate how someone is feeling or how they're not feeling. This simply is not true. You're not here to save anybody. A good example of this would be people who are, okay, let's say you have you owe somebody some money, right? And you got a new job and you're in transition and you can't pay the money right away. Well, you let the person know, hey, I don't have the money right now, but I will be getting it to you. And in the meantime, you're going through a really tough time. You're working as hard as you can to get back on your feet, to make your life better and those around you better. but you just simply don't have the finances at the moment. And so this person that you're telling this to can do two things. They can be understanding and say, I see where you're coming from. You know, your help is greatly appreciated. As soon as you have the money, I need it right away because I'm going through a really tough time myself. Or they could say, oh my God, you're so lazy. You're a horrible person. You are unworthy, and just whatever, whatever it is people like to say. And, you are simply doing what you need to do. And so that people can't say anything. And when they do say something, they look silly and foolish for saying it. Because everything you do on an everyday basis is just who you are. And there's no refuting that. And I'm not saying live your life so that you fit in and that you are cool and that you're on the same page with everyone. I'm saying stay close to yourself, feel into yourself, develop a sense of self-worth and self-knowing, so that when people do come around who do not agree with the way that you live your life, they cannot touch you. You are bulletproof. They cannot pull you away from yourself. The only way someone can pull you away from yourself is if you give them the power and the energy to do so. And you give them the power and energy to do so by complying with the things that they say about you, by buying into the negative connotations and the negative mindsets they have about you, by switching the way you view yourself based on what they say is how you give in to them. That's how you give your power away. So hold yourself close. Hold yourself tight. Know yourself. Know what you stand for. And stand strong with who you are. Do not let anybody devalue you. Do not give your power and your energy away. You are too precious. You are too beautiful. You are full of too much divine potential to let another person, place, or thing define you outside of the definitions you give yourself. Love yourself. Treat yourself well. It's all about you. Much love.